for the 1990 NFC Championship. Nursing a 13-12 fourth quarter lead, Steve Young handed off to Roger Cray. Eric Howard of the Giants stripped the ball into the waiting arms of Lawrence Taylor. New York went on to kick the winning field goal, and 1 week later, they captured Super Bowl 25. And an aerial look at Candlestick Park, where 49ers fans are expecting to see another playoff classic, but one they hope will have a different outcome. Leslie Visser is standing by with a look at the home team's trials and tribulations this year. Leslie?
Greg and Terry, the 49ers are not what you would call on a roll. They've lost 3 out of their last 4 games, 2 of them at home, and they are really struggling now. If you listen to George Seifert, you'd think they were the most miserable, dismal collection of athletes ever assembled. But while Seifert has lapsed into some Shakespearean despair, the players are taking it all in stride.
I don't know where the hell we are right now as far as the club's concerned. You know, I mean, it's a kind of a sorry state as we go into the playoffs.
Translation, there won't be one for the thumb, a 5th Super Bowl title unless the 49ers reverse their late season slump. A mysterious unraveling on both offense and defense that prompted Seifert to send a message.
Both the offense and the defense and the kicking game and everything else, right now it's screwed up.
With George screaming at us the last 2 weeks straight, you know, you get that think in the side of your ear, the voice always, you know, you go to bed with it. That hopefully that's the difference.
George Seifert was so vocal the last couple weeks. What was that to do, or what was the purpose?
I tell you what, he really wants this more than any other year. I think he's really into this. I mean, last year he was relaxed, but not to the point that he didn't want to win, but he was just relaxed, and right now he really wants this.
Do you have to make sure it doesn't trickle down, the tension?
Right, because if you go out there and you're tense, there's nothing you're going to be able to do. It's a whole situation where, like, if you hold your hand tight for like 2 hours or so, you can't even pick up a cup because the tension in your hand.
The inexperienced defensive line will never be confused with an attack dog. No one gives up more average yards per rush. You have had trouble stopping the run. What's been the problem?
I think up front it's just been a lack of communication with the backer and the guys up front getting us the calls on time.
Do people yell at each other?
No, we don't yell at each other because sometimes guys might take it, you know, you might strike a nerve in their sensitive spot.
If you had Buddy Ryan, he might take a swing at you.
Yeah, but I duck and hit him in the belly.
Fear not. Contrary to some reports, the 49ers do have a running game, and it will be helped by the return of a completely healthy Ricky Watters.
I feel great, actually. My knees
Looks
feeling
pretty
good. I'm ready to go. I like the whole situation, you know, kind of being the underdog and all that. I think that's just a great situation to be in right now.
Are you, like, tired of hearing everybody say Rodney Hampton this, Rodney Hampton that?
No, I like that. Everyone will be putting the pressure on him, so it's like they'll be overlooking me. Hopefully I can sneak in there and have a good game also.
You lost that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling.
San Francisco's proud playoff tradition has taken a few hits the past few years, but thanks to George Seifert's urgent message, the consequences of his truth will be spun for all to see. Did we drive to the Super Bowl in this? Right on to Atlanta?
We could drive to my apartment, go home, get something to eat.
There's the secret. The road to Atlanta goes through Dana Stubblefield's stomach. Well, as for Steve Young, who, by the way, grew up in Connecticut as a Giants fan, he told me he used to go to the Yale Bowl to watch them play. He knows that this playoff drive is enormously important if he is ever to escape the shadow of Joe Montana. He told me, I am ready to knock the door down to win the Super Bowl. Greg?
All right, Leslie, thank you. We would like to advise you now that the conference championship game times have been set. Settle down. In the AFC, it'll be Kansas City or Houston at Buffalo. That will be a 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time start next Sunday. The NFC Championship game to be played in Dallas, San Francisco, or the Meadowlands will be a 4 p.m. Eastern Time start. When we come back, we'll be joined by the Eagles ace ball hawk, Eric Allen, for an inside look at today's Giants-Niners divisional playoff game right after this.
Still got it, Rick. He says in the film, aha, here it goes inside, but then you take it and go another direction.
Okay, so Steve Young is the guy in charge of that. Can Steve Young, is he capable of taking the 49ers to the Super Bowl?
I don't think so. I think Jerry Rice is going to be the guy that can take them all the way. I don't think Steve Young is a capable quarterback to put them in the championship and win the championship.
Okay, what about Steve Young? How do you deal with him?
Well, I think one of the things with Steve Young is the hearts of San Francisco still belongs to Joe Montana. That's something he hasn't overcome yet. He hasn't captured him. You see a piece of tape here against the Steelers where they blitzed Steve Young early. Steve Young had a hard time early in the season with teams that blitzed him, forced him out of the pocket. He threw the football up a lot. I think in this game today, the 49ers are going to have to do one thing really well. They're going to have to come out with the understanding they will not be able to just take 5- and 6-yard passes against the Giants. The Giants are going to control the clock, have these 8- and 9-minute drives, and therefore they're going to have to come out, the 49ers, Greg and Eric, and throw the ball deep down the field because they're not going to have that many opportunities.
All right, when the Giants do throw the football now, Mark Jackson has dropped some critical passes from Phil Simms. As a quarterback, what does that do to your thinking?
Well, I say to myself, I'm not going to throw to him. You know, Mark Jackson has only been with the Giants 1 year, and Simms, quite honestly, does not right now have the confidence in him, and he will not throw him the football. But today, good for Jackson, good for Simms. And that is the fact that the 49ers do run a zone defense, where there are a lot of gaps in it, a lot of areas, and I think Phil can get the ball to Jackson today and find his confidence. It only takes one good completion.
With the loss of Mike Sherrard, there goes the Giants' deep game with the injury. Do any of the other receivers bother you at all?
I think what the 49ers are going to have to do is bring up the strong safety in the 8-man front. They're going to have to change their defense a little bit in order to get that pressure on Hampton. Now, when you do that, now the receivers are in one-on-one coverage. So maybe some of the receivers can get open and make a big play.
Who do you like?
That can't happen, Greg, because that's not what they do best. They run zones. They don't play man-to-man. He's talking about a Philadelphia defense that Jeff Fisher, the coordinator, runs out there.
Yeah.
I think that would be a mistake. You're right in what they should do, but I don't think they have the people to do it. Giants, I think, win this football game.
Me too. I think the Giants win the football game.
Hey, I'll say the 49ers just for the fun of it. When we come back, we'll go out to Candlestick, where the players are about to be introduced. Stay tuned. Field announcer Hal Ramey introducing the San Francisco 49ers at Candlestick Park.
From Georgia, number 62, Guy McIntyre. Starting at center, number 61 from Hawaii, Jesse Sapolu. Right guard from Westchester, number 64, Ralph Tam. Right tackle from North Carolina, number 79, Harris Barton. Starting at tight end, number 84 from Santa Clara, Brent Jones. Wide receiver from Mississippi Valley State, number 80, Jerry Rice. At quarterback from Brigham Young, number 8, Steve Young. Running back from Notre Dame, number 32, Ricky Waters. Starting at fullback from Nebraska, number 44, Tom Rathman.
We've got about a half a minute to go. Seems to me the key to this game for the 49ers is to get on top early and make the Giants throw the football.
Correct. If they can't stop the run, it's going to be a long day for the Giants.
49ers, some way or another, Greg, have got to find some defense today. If they don't have a defense in the first half, this game is over. I think the Giants walk with it.
Yeah, remember, the New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers, and the winner of this game meets the winner of tomorrow's Green Bay-Dallas game. We'll see you back here at halftime. Right now, game time on the NFL today. The Giants and the 49ers in their NFC Divisional playoff. Enjoy it, everyone.
Today, the New York Giants invade Candlestick Park to challenge the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams have their sights set on advancing to next week's championship game. And both teams have different ideas on how to go about realizing that goal. Offensive philosophies as different as night and day. Trumpeting the case for the freewheeling high-octane method are Steve Young and his sure-handed, fleet-footed arsenal. While the Big Blue Wrecking Crew's attack is about as subtle as a punch in the mouth. They'll bowl you over and crawl for every last inch, and then turn it over to their bruising defense. Today's winner moves one step closer to the Super Bowl. So close, in fact, they can almost taste it. at Candlestick Park in San Francisco for the NFC Divisional playoff match between the Giants and the San Francisco 49ers. An absolutely perfect day. The temperature 55 degrees, very little wind. It is sunny now, and it's supposed to stay that way. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden, and as the weeks pass, John, the level of intensity goes up, the games go by, but you have to turn it up a little bit. And now how do the Giants go about doing that?
Well, you know, I think the Giants have to play the way that they got here, and that means that they have to play strong defense. I think they have to take away the wide receivers of the 49ers and make it a low-scoring game. I think on offense, we know they have to be able to run the ball. Rodney Hampton has to have a big day. But when they do run the ball, when they do have that time of possession, when they get down there, they have to score touchdowns and not settle for field goals.
And John, in talking to the 49ers, I think tentative would be a word to describe them. Certainly, they don't appear to be filled with confidence, do they?
Well, because they lost those last two games, and they know that they're a good football team, and they just wonder if it's going to come out. But I think if they're going to be, Steve Young has to attack. He has to be able to get the ball to Rice, to Taylor, Ricky Waters running, do all those things, then get ahead, because they are vulnerable to the run. But if they score a lot of points, then the Giants running means nothing.
A lot of talk all week long about how these two teams have to begin the game. The Giants will kick off, so the 49ers will have the first crack at moving the sticks. Bright, sunshiny, beautiful day. Dexter Carter back deep for San Francisco. Brad Daluiso set to kick it off for the Giants.
Yeah, you can just feel, Pat, before an opening kickoff of a playoff game, it just feels different from a regular season game. I mean, the intensity that the fans have, that the players have, that everyone has here, is just a different feeling from any other game that you do during the year.
Even the pregame warm-ups, even the national anthem, everything has picked up in its level of intensity. Daluiso to kick it off. Sellout crowd at Candlestick, as you would expect for a game of this magnitude. Kickoff is deep, and without doubt will be downed by Dexter Carter. Steve Young, the 49er quarterback, continues to break records. A little scuffle going on the opening kickoff. That's the line in front of Steve Young. Wallace and Harris, Barton the tackles, McIntyre and Tam. Backs and receivers, Ricky Waters, the great Jerry Rice, Brent Jones, the tight end. Tom Rathman, ever steady at fullback. Here is Steve Young. And the 49ers will operate from their own 20. Young will throw on first down. To Waters. About 9. The Giant defensive unit. They open with Eric Howard in the middle this week. Mike Fox and Keith Hamilton, the defensive ends. Lawrence Taylor, Michael Brooks, Bailey, and Miller, the linebackers. Very active. Raymond, Jackson, Guyton, and Mark Collins. An amazing year he's had. 2nd and 1. Pass completion from Young to Waters, got 9. Waters hit by Howard. Got a first down, I believe.
One thing, you know, we were talking to Ricky Waters the other day, and he was saying that he kind of likes when the 49ers get finished with their script. They script the first 15 plays. And he said that's just kind of a feeling out period. In other words, they know what they're going to play. They know what the plays are. And he said that's okay. But he said then after those 15 plays, then you get into the flow of the game and you get to know how it's going.
And that's when they score most of their points. Steve Young to throw. Taylor is wide open. Taylor to the Giant 39. Stopped by Collins.
And when you talk about the great wide receivers on this team, you always talk about Jerry Rice, but you can't forget John Taylor. If you do, he'll kill you. See, the Giants have to bump him. Corey Raymond missed that bump, so now it's easy. Now it's just in the zone. He went right by Raymond. He got in front of Jackson, and the Giant defense on that play was not aggressive at all.
He ran that pattern like you draw it up.
He ran it unmolested. If you're going to play cover 2, you got to bump those outside guys.
Young again to Waters. Maybe another 49er first down. Corey Raymond made the stop.
Yeah, we talked earlier about the 49ers not having confidence, Pat. I'm not sure if they did or not, but we're sure getting it right here. You watch here, just Steve Young gets good pass protection, takes the outside. That's the thing that Steve Young can do. You know, it's just not run all the time, but just move enough to buy some time. Then he has so many great speedy receivers out there that he hits any of them, they can get big plays for
Waters got the first down. They're at the Giant 28. Ricky Waters to about the 23. Stopped by Guyton.
Yeah, this offensive line of the 49ers, these guys are really such good athletes. If you watch Steve Wallace, the left tackle, he's going to pull all the way around here and lead Ricky Waters. Once number 74, you know, a lot of times you pull the guard, you pull the tackle, there's a guard, and the tackle. See that block that he gets right there? That was a block. It's not a big run, but if Steve Wallace doesn't make that block, that play doesn't gain anything.
This is Rice in motion. Young throws it cross field to Rice. And Rice scrambles down to the 10. Good looking drive by the 49ers.
Great pass protection that time, because that one you have to give to the offensive line. You just watch the time that Steve Young had here. And he's doing what he wanted to do. He got the ball to John Taylor. Now he gets it to Jerry Rice. Watch the time. He looks right, looks left, and then he finally comes off to Jerry Rice for the big play. But the thing is, the offensive line gave him a lot of time, or the Giants really didn't get any pressure on Steve Young in that play.
And Young is 4 out of 4. Waters to the 1-foot line. Collins and Jackson made the tackle.
This is a fired-up 49er offense, Pat.
Sharp.
I mean, these guys come out here and they're going to knock guys off the ball. They're pass protected and they're doing everything. This is an offensive machine here. Ricky Waters said, "I've heard enough about Rodney Hampton." He said, "All week I hear Rodney Hampton this, Rodney Hampton Giants running." He said, "I'm going to show there's going to be more than one running back in this game."
2nd and 1 at the 1. Touchdown 49ers, Ricky Waters. Just strolled in.
That is offensive football.
Whoa, that's good.
That's mixture. It's pass protection. It's run. It's offensive line. It's pulling. That was a perfect drive by the 49ers. And I'll tell you, that had the Giants defense on their heels too, Pat. They were not aggressive at all on that drive.
8 plays, 80 yards. Kofer for the extra point. Bono holding. The extra point is no good. They have had all kinds of problems in the kicking area, and that just adds to Kofer's problem. 6-0. 1-yard run scored the touchdown. 4 rushes, 4 passes, all complete. And here's the unfortunate part of it. Kofer just hooked it. The hole was good. He just banged it off the left upright. Now he's set to kick off. Meggett and Callaway back deep for the Giants. In the end zone. So Phil Simms has a chance to take over with his offensive unit. In front of him, the unsung but very effective offensive line: Moore, Roberts, Oates, Kratch, and Riesenberg. In the secondary behind them, the ball handlers, Hampton, Bunch, Callaway, Jackson, and Cross. First and 10 at the 20. They start out with two tight ends, and this is Hampton. Rodney Hampton for about 4. Let's look at the San Francisco defense. Carl Wilson, Ted Washington, the rookie Dana Stubblefield, and Dennis Brown. Romanowski, Walter, and John Johnson, the linebackers. Griffin, Hanks, McDonald, and Eric Davis at the other corner. We'll be watching McDonald as he keys on Hampton most of the day. Pierce was the move man. That's Hampton. About a yard. It'll bring up a rare situation for the Giants. 3rd and long.
You know, one of the things that Phil Simms was talking about yesterday, Pat, was the fact that he wants to dictate the pace of this game, and what he wants to do is he wants to slow everything down and then, of course, get first downs. And by doing that, keep the 49er offense off the field. But that's all good as long as you move the ball and score touchdowns.
3rd and 5. Simms' pass is complete to Meggett. He might have lost a yard by Romanowski.
That was a heck of a play by Bill Romanowski, because that's one thing the Giants like to do. They like to get the ball to Dave Meggett on those 3rd downs and about 5 yards and let him run with it. Meggett comes out. Watch Romanowski. He's right on him, and boom, right there. Meggett doesn't go anymore after he catches that ball.
No chance to make a move. Horan to punt it. Good kick, and he was kicking well in warm-ups. Chases Dexter Carter all the way back to his own 20. Gets inside a couple of blockers, and now he's got some more room. Carter to midfield and into Giant territory. Greg Jackson, about the last man who had a shot, made the tackle.
The 49ers really have this Giant team back on their heels.
They are reeling at the moment. 6-0 San Francisco.
Divisional playoff game is sponsored by the New Dodge, a proud sponsor of the 1994 U.S. Olympic team. The American Express card, don't leave home without it. Delta Airlines, you'll love the way we fly. And by Coors Light, reach for the silver bullet, the right beer now.
These aerial shots today are courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, based in Carson, California. Today's pilot, John Creighton from Redondo Beach, California. 31-yard punt return by Dexter Carter puts the 49ers back in business at the Giant 49. Young will throw it again. Again open. Near the 30. Stopped by Miller.
I tell you, the thing that they're not doing is they're not getting the bump on the wide receivers. Now, if you don't get the bump in the wide receivers, then they can find the holes in the zone. And you see what Steve Young is doing there. He's throwing over the linebacker and in front of the secondary. So that's the areas that they can get. They can flood a zone, or they can run in and crossing patterns and get in the layers of the zones. And that's exactly what they did there.
And a pass like that requires a very, very difficult touch. Waters to about the 27. Mike Fox made the stop.
I think the big thing here is that the 49ers have really gotten this Giant defense off balance. I mean, they have great mixture. They've run, they've passed to their backs, they've passed to their outside receivers, and that's a big thing with the 49ers. If they're going to get in sync, they have to get their outside receivers in the game early, especially Jerry Rice.
That they've been able to do.
Yeah, and when they can do that, they're lethal.
2nd down and 7. Again, he is open, and again, he gets a first down. The Giants have not quite figured out where he's coming from yet.
Well, you know, watch what happens here is when Rice comes here. Now, if you get a bump on him and take him here, then there's room for the back to get out in this area. Now, that's what happens. You see, they get so concerned out there with Jerry Rice. Now, watch Waters here. He comes across, and he's wide open. See, Jerry Rice runs Corey Raymond off. Then they send Waters across the backfield, sneak him out into that area that should have been Corey Raymond's zone.
First down, Waters. Not much there this time. Total yards, the 49ers already have 110. The Giants only 5 in their only possession. 6:16 left to play in the first quarter.
And if it weren't for that missed extra point, and that thing will sit there all day unless you gain a whole heck of a lot of points. But if it weren't for that, the 49ers have been perfect so far.
Waters comes out. Dexter Carter has replaced him. Rathman is the other back, 2nd and 10. Rathman on the move and Young back to throw. To Carter, juggled it and dropped it. He was open.
Yeah, that's a play just for Dexter Carter. You know, Dexter Carter is their kick returner, and he's also a good open field runner. And they just put him in with that one play. They took Waters out for one play, took Tom Rathman, put him out in motion, so Carter was the only guy. Then they had that optional route in there. He ran it perfectly and just dropped the ball.
That's much the same way the Giants used Dave Meggett.
It's an old Bill Walsh thing, you know, where you kind of have a play for a guy. That was Dexter Carter's play.
That's Odessa Turner in motion. Here's Young to throw it. Don't forget what a runner he is. He gets to about the 12. He goes head first. Rolled over.
And he didn't do what he said that he was going to do the other day. He said his coach, Mike Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, said, hey, you're starting to get hurt on those things. You're starting to look dumb. He said, if you run, he said, do for 2 things. Either go out of bounds or go for the end zone. I don't know that he's going for the end zone there. He leads head first. And when you lead head first and you take it on your left shoulder and you're a left-handed passer, that can hurt you.
A little stinger. Kofer from 29 yards out. Remember, he missed the extra point. Bono holding. Kofer's kick is good, and the 49ers now lead 9-0. We're still in the first quarter. NFC Divisional playoff, Giants and 49ers. Look at this.
Yeah, this is a play you see right there. Mark Collins comes in and hits him right on that left shoulder. And you can see him go across there, and they were checking him on the sideline. Plus they have Steve Bono was warming up.
Back in that group there, Steve Young. He's got an ice bag on the back of his neck.
It was just a thing he was talking about not doing. He said that, you know, he doesn't know how to go down. He doesn't know how to end it. And he should be running out of bounds more. Funny how when you start a game, instincts take over.
This is Meggett, who handled that line drive kickoff, and Meggett, very nearly out of the pack with a lot of room, is cut down by Damian Russell. And the Giants will take over.
You know, when we were talking to the Giants the other day about, you know, knowing that they had to run, knowing that their offensive line has to do it, knowing that they had to have time of possession. You see, they haven't done any of those things, but they also thought that maybe they were going to have to pass a little more on first down, and I agree with that.
And I think we'll see it right here. Sims to throw it. Pass is picked off by the 49ers on the rebound. The ball pops straight up in the air. Tim McDonald came up with the ball.
Tim McDonald is a guy that they think is going to be real aggressive on the run, but on this one, he just sits back there in the zone. The ball bounces up in the air. Watch 46 McDonald. He comes, he gets the dive, the jump ball, does a little circle thing here, comes out of it and gets the interception.
49ers have the ball now. Here's the interception again, and Steve Young is back at quarterback. Waters was a man in motion. This is Rathman lowers his head and gets down to about the 35-yard line of the Giants, stopped by Guyton.
Tim McDonald, who got that interception, is an excited guy just to be in the playoffs because, he played all those years with the Phoenix Cardinals, and, he made All-Pro, and he was in the Pro Bowl, and he said those things are nice, but there's nothing like being in championship games, and he was so excited when we talked to him the other day, he just couldn't wait to get on with this game.
Of course, having spent those years with Phoenix, he's very, very familiar with the Giants. Here's Young back to throw. Fake. Gets it to Brent Jones. Like to pass, the ball was almost past Brent Jones when he made the catch.
Yeah, if you look at that Tim McDonald interception here, he's trying to throw it to number 80, Chris Callaway, but I think the guy that hits it is right there, is Bill Romanowski. See, it was behind Callaway, hits Romanowski, then gets up in the air, and here comes Tim McDonald and gets the interception.
I think more than him hitting the ball hit him.
Yeah, he just kind of had his hands up in the air, and the ball hit him right between the eyes, it looked like.
1st and 10, San Francisco. A couple.
There's Tim McDonald, who we were talking about earlier, who got that interception, who, thought that, those last 2 games that they lost and then having a week off was, really been a long time for him because he's waiting so long to get in a playoff game. He's never been, this is the first one he's ever been in the NFL. And he said those have been the longest 3 weeks since they clinched their playoff position, the longest time he's ever had to live in football.
Here's Young. Gets the ball to his tight end, Jones. That is the 9th first down for the 49ers in the first quarter. The Giants had none.
The thing that they do is spread this ball around so well that, you can't take a guy away. You can talk about how good Jerry Rice is. I mean, right now on the field, Jerry Rice and Lawrence Taylor are 2 of the greatest players of all time, but you just can't say Jerry Rice because they got John Taylor, then they got Ricky Waters, then they got Brent Jones.
On first down, Waters behind Ralph Tam. Good tackle by Corey Raymond, cuts him down. Carlton Bailey also there. '49ers today, balance is what you always look for, and they've had it. 10 rushes, 9 passes for 109 yards. They've rushed it for 35.
And of course, that's their script. They used to script 25 plays, and then they went down to scripting 20 plays. Now they script 15 plays, and the script worked pretty good today, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Young on a delay to Waters to the 10. That'll bring up 3rd. And about 4.5. Guyton and Tate.
Yeah, Ricky Waters is one of those guys that you like to have on your team, I think, because he's always excited. I mean, he's a hyper guy. And he's moving all the time. I mean, he's in a meeting and he's moving. He's on the field, he's moving. He comes out here before the game and he tries to run around the place and shake hands with every fan in the place, telling them all to yell. He does everything.
He says he's going to be calm, but he doesn't show that. Young rolls out. 2 blockers in front. Young scrambles to about the half-yard line. Looked as if he took the dive for the end zone a little bit early.
Well, that's what Mike Shanahan told him. Do one of 2 things. Either go for the end zone or go out of bounds. That time, he's going to take his right guard, Ralph Tam, and follow him. You see, it's a little roll. You see 64? Get right in behind him. He fakes a pass. There's a block by Tam. He gets Collins to the ground. Had he stayed up a little more, like you said, that would have been a touchdown, because Tam got a heck of a block on Mark Collins.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The 49ers 9, the Giants nothing. Ready to start the second quarter. The 49ers 9, the Giants nothing. They have 10 first downs, the Giants none. It's first and goal at the 1. Waters and Rathman behind Young. Waters. His second of the day.
Yep, he was fired up on Thursday. He was fired up on Friday. He was fired up before the game, and it just carried right into the first half of this game.
Ricky Waters has scored twice.
Ricky Waters brings life and enthusiasm to an offense, and I'll tell you, this offense wasn't the same when Ricky Waters was out.
Kofer will try the extra point with Bono holding. He missed his first attempt. This one's good. 13-0. 14:58 left in the first half.
Just touchdown. Now you're going to have two things. One, you have a lead by Tom Rathman and a pull by Guy McIntyre, the guard, and Ricky Waters can follow either one. He doesn't follow his lead, he follows his pull. Watch him. You see now, they all go for Rathman there, and he just cuts off Rathman right in behind McIntyre, who blocks Lawrence Taylor. So that's a two-way go. You know, if you have a cutback, you got your guard for the cutback. If not, you just follow your lead blocker in there.
And Ricky Waters cut it back behind his pulling guard. Kofer's kick is short. Meggett takes it at the 7. And he is down just outside the 20 by Sanjay Beach.
You see Ricky Waters there, Pat, is getting a little oxygen now. Earlier, and now he's drinking Gatorade, but before, earlier in the game, this is how he came out, remember?
Yep.
He came out and he went around and he was like giving high fives to the whole fans and telling them, we need you today, we need you in the game. And he went out and gave a little speech to, I think, every fan that was here today.
That was about an hour and a half before game time.
The more things you can do.
Get him into it. Sims to Hampton. About 3. Dana Stubblefield, who had an outstanding rookie year for San Francisco, made the stop.
You know, the 49ers have been good for so long that sometimes they feel that the fans here have gotten spoiled and they really don't appreciate this team, and sometimes they don't make a lot of noise and they're not really into it. But I think today in playoff games they understand that part of it because they're in this one.
Second and 7. Sims will throw. Didn't have time. Stubblefield, first man there.
And that's what you can do. They can say that they don't have a pass rush, they don't have this, but watch Stubblefield. He's number 94. He comes off Oates, then he comes right up the middle into Sims. Sims saw that. He didn't have a chance. But Stubblefield went to the outside. Bart Oates tried to get him. He just went right by him. And Sims, as he went back, he saw Stubblefield get by Oates, and he just put the ball down.
Mike Walter was also blitzing, and that occupied another blocker. Meggett in the backfield with Sims on third down. Back to throw it. Sims gets away from the 49er rush. Pass caught by Ed McCaffrey, but not enough for a first down.
Yeah, what's happening to the Giants, Pat, is the thing that they didn't want. They wanted time of possession, low-scoring game, and what they're getting is no time of possession and a high-scoring game. The Giants cannot win in a shootout, and they know it.
Mike Horan Back to punt for the Giants. Dexter Carter almost broke one. Did get a 31-yard return the first time he handled it. Moran's kick is not very good. Touched by the Giants as it headed back toward their end of the field. And the 49ers will take over at about their own 49. 22-yard punt by Horan.
Is sponsored by Budweiser.
In the NFC tomorrow, Green Bay plays the Cowboys in Dallas. Earlier today, Buffalo 29, the Raiders 23. Also tomorrow, Kansas City will be at Houston. We're at Candlestick Park with 12:44 left in the first half, and the 49ers leading 16-0. First and 10. Just a bad throw by Young. Intended for Rice.
And Steve Young is a lot more effective when he throws to his left, and I think we're going to see as the game goes that most of his passes will be thrown to his left or to the middle, and as you say, as you go to the right, he's not effective, and that wasn't a very good pass because he had excellent pass protection on that play.
That'll bring up second and 10. Rice goes wide right. That means Taylor is left. Pitch is back to Water. Now to about the 48 in Giant territory. First three possessions, the 49ers with that great looking opening drive started at their own 20, went 80 yards, missed the extra point. Then they started at the 48 and then the 41. They got a field goal and a touchdown.
And then on this possession here now they have because of that 22-yard punt by Mike Horan, the 49ers again have good field position for the third time in a row.
And it's 3rd and 6. They run those crossing patterns, and that one is almost intercepted by Greg Jackson. Intended for Taylor, but the Giants had it read perfectly.
But what they do is they have that zone, and if we see what it looks like here, you see Steve Young is looking here, and he steps up. Now here is Jackson right there, and he steps right in front of Taylor. Now, I'm surprised that Steve Young didn't see that because he throws it. He knows that they play that too deep, that the two safeties are going to be in the middle of the field, and unless he thought Jackson was going to go off and Taylor was going to come in underneath, but Jackson was waiting right there for it.
Wilmsmeyer back to punt for the 49ers, and it's a good one. Meggett signals fair catch, and the Giants will take over at their own 13. And they trail 16-0.
Gotten anything going yet, and again they have to get Rodney Hampton going. They have to get that run going, and then they can go to the play pass. But if you don't get the run going and you're behind, then they're just going to get off and play pass anyway.
At what point, John, do you take a guy like Rodney Hampton out of the game? I don't mean standing on the sideline. I mean out of being an offensive factor.
I don't think you should until the second half or the fourth quarter. I mean, I think you have to get it to that point before you do. I think the Giants just have to get something going. I think they have to think in terms of first downs, a little possession, and just kind of start using building blocks to get there. They don't have to get there on one play because they aren't that kind of team.
They haven't been all year. Hampton still stands on the sideline. Meggett is in the lineup on 3rd and 5.
And the last time they had a 3rd and 5, they threw it to Meggett. Bill Romanowski made a heck of a play on him. I would think this time on 3rd and 5, I would throw it beyond a 5-yard mark.
They need to make a first down. The Sims crowd is very loud. I don't know if that's a factor or not, but he calls a timeout. That's the first one used. They have 2 left. At Candlestick Park, the 49ers leading the Giants, who have no first downs. And Rodney Hampton has 3 carries for 7 yards. That pretty well tells you the story. Meggett in the backfield with Sims. Flag on the play. Pass intended for McCaffrey. Penalty marker down. Bernie Kukar, the referee, against the 49ers.
Well, that'll be the first down.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 92 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Watch the head slap coming up here on Riesenberg.
That's it right there.
Yep.
That's a pretty good head slap, though. You know, that used to, remember when Deacon Jones used to do that was a big part of a pass rush. Then they took it away and said that you can't slap to the head anymore, but that was about as good a head slap as you're going to see.
That's Troy Wilson. And Riesenberg's ears have still got to be ringing. Hampton trying to swing it left. And nothing doing. He lost yardage. Carl Wilson and John Johnson made the stop. That was the Giants' first down of the day, and they got that one by penalty.
And that was the head slap to Riesenberg, but had Troy Wilson just hit his shoulder, that would have been a heck of a move.
Second down. They need about 13 for a first. Meggett again back in the backfield. Sims has to scramble. That's on the hop, incomplete. Intended for Mark Jackson, a flag on the play.
And either Sims is feeling the pressure too much, Pat, or there's too much pressure.
I think he was over the line when he threw that ball, yes.
Yeah, he was, but he's just going back and he's given up on his pass protection early. Now maybe the pass protection is getting there, or maybe he's just feeling something that's not there.
Illegal forward pass. The quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Also loss of down. Third down.
See, the line of scrimmage is right there. The ball is right on the 30-yard line. See, now here, I think the pass protection looks okay, but he sees that coming from the left and he starts to run. He was just a step beyond when he threw that ball. But, sometimes with the quarterback, and Phil Simms has said this himself, is you always want to tell yourself, hang in there, hang in there. You always have to say that, and sometimes you don't. And I don't know if he's getting out of there a little too soon, or maybe the protection isn't there.
This is a 49er timeout. It was 3rd and 18, so each team has 2 timeouts remaining.
And the Giants are not a great pass protection offensive line. They're a good run blocking. They're good when they have the running game going. But again, when you get down like this and you can't get anything going, and those pass rushers are just pinning their ears back, they're going to have a little trouble with their pass protection. It looks like they're especially on that left side over there where Eric Moore is playing left tackle.
He was saying to us yesterday he was concerned about the push that the 49ers got. They didn't get off the blocks that well, but they did collapse the pocket.
Yeah, that's a big, strong defensive line, especially those guys in the middle. They just get on those blockers and push them right back into the quarterback.
On 3rd down, that's Jackson in motion, and Sims back to throw it. Rolls out to his right. Pass complete. That's not enough for a first down, however. Callaway made the stop. He had to come back a little bit for it, and did not get the first.
But the Giants maybe found something there to take down this pass rush a little. Sims moving out of the pocket. You see, Troy Wilson took an inside move that time, thinking Sims would be back there. They just pinned him to the inside and ran outside. Watch him now. He's going to come inside. They catch him in here, and then Sims can get to the outside. See him? He takes the inside right there. Meggett helps him. Now Sims can roll out there and find his receiver. So maybe in this process they found a way to pass protect.
Not quite a first down, however. And Haran is back in to kick. They're saying 4th and 1.
It's a 40-second timeout.
This is San Francisco's timeout. That's their second.
Yeah, I think Matt, there's probably some Giant fans who say, geez, they're down. Why don't they go for it in this situation? And I think that Dan Reeves is thinking, look, we don't have this game under any kind of control. They have control. The last 3 times they've had great field position. If we did it and didn't get a first down here, we'd just give them another field position and another shot at us. And we just had to punt, start playing defense, and trying to get back into this game.
4th and 1. And Horan back in punt formation. He's had 1 good punt, 1 not so good. Dexter Carter back deep for the 49ers. This one's another good one. Carter's going to let it go. That might have been a little mistake. The Giants down it at about the 7-yard line. There was a high punt by Horan and a good one. Noon tomorrow here on CBS. Begins with the NFL today. A lot depends on number 22 for the Cowboys. Emmitt Smith, who says he's hurting, but he's certain he'll play.
I tell you, Emmitt Smith hurting is still better than most of them in this game.
Waters, the ball carrier, gets it outside of the 10 to about the 12.
You know, Pat, just watching this Giant team on offense, defense, special teams, they look loggy today.
They really do.
You know, I mean, they're not crisp, they're not tackling, they're not going after these things, they're not aggressive, and they kind of started that way for the last 3 weeks. Remember against Dallas, they really didn't have a good first half. And then last week against Minnesota, they had a better second half. But you play against the 49ers, you can't afford a loggy first half.
Well, of course, the 49ers had the week off. The Giants had to travel all the way across the country. They came a day early. Not an excuse. Those are things you expect to have to do. This is Young to Taylor, who did a remarkable job of spinning around and picking up that ball coming out of the sun. A gain of 43 yards.
And again, the protection there Steve Young had all day. It was like there wasn't even any other team on the field. Watch Young, when he comes here and he gets out to this position, he's going to eventually throw it all the way across the field. But watch, there's no pass rush here at all. There's no pressure on Steve Young. They get the motion comes back, and then he comes back. Now it's organized that he's going to roll out here. See, they have everything over here, bring everything to this side of the field. Then they have Taylor deep down here, and he throws it back all the way across the field.
Ricky Waters gets the carry on first down. They get to about the Giant 43, stopped by Bailey.
The Giant defense looks like they're sleepwalking, and the 49er offense looks like they're really getting off on the ball. I mean, that they're really popping, that they're quick, that they're executing, that they're doing everything a good offense has to do, and the Giants aren't doing the things that a good defense has to do.
2nd and 8. 49ers leading 16-0. Young trying for more. As a man open, it's Jerry Rice. Rice got 1 block, gets to the 30, and another 49er first down. Stopped by Mark Collins.
And the great thing about Jerry Rice, Pat, is we all know that, you know, he can get open and catch, but every time he catches a ball, he thinks that he's going to score. You see, you got to bump him. The Giants aren't bumping him. They're just letting him run through those zones, and then he is tough to tackle. And the Giants are doing all the wrong things. They're not aggressive on the outside receivers. They're missing tackles. They're just not attacking this offense. And this offense is attacking this Giant defense.
Young is 10 out of 13. Odessa Turner into the game. That's Brent Jones in motion. The handoff is to Waters. He's got blockers in front. This is a good-looking play. Inside the 10, knocked out of bounds by Bailey. He got all his blockers around the corner.
And the guy that was leading him and can darn near run as fast as a running back is Guy McIntyre. You want to see a guard pull. Watch McIntyre. He's going to pull here, and he's the guy that leads the play. And watch how fast he is. I mean, he can get out there, give a little. Now watch, he can run. I mean, he turns on those burners. Old McIntyre got some burners. And he just gives just enough of a block there to get a couple more yards. Watch him come at you. I mean, there's a big man, a big old guard, a Pro Bowl guard running. He even got burners.
First and goal at the 10. Steve Young to throw it. Gets it to his tight end front corner. I beg your pardon. This is Rathman. To about the 1-yard line. Rathman out of the backfield.
Rathman gets the ball here. He said everyone on this offense wants the ball except me, but he's doing pretty good here today. He's the only back in the backfield. You see him left of the screen? He just sneaks through there in the line, catches that ball, turns it up, and puts it right towards the goal line. Rathman's a fullback.
Second and goal at the 1, and a good one.
If you ever had to start a team or pick a team, I would for sure want him on mine.
That's Rathman. He doesn't get it. Flag on the play.
Although I don't know if I'd give him the ball down here. I think that he's better as a lead blocker. They got a holding penalty on that play, but remember the last time in the goal line, he was a lead blocker. McIntyre was the puller, and then put Ricky Waters in behind him. That was a play that worked the last time there.
This is going to take him back. Giants will accept this penalty. It'll still be second down, but out at
Holding
11.
number 61 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Called on the center, Jesse Zapolo. First time we mentioned his name today, other than the introduction of the players, and it's bad.
Yeah, that's
not fair.
That's the thing that offensive linemen always complain about. The only time they get mentioned is when they get caught holding. But Jesse Zapolo's getting some mentions now. He's in the Pro Bowl this year.
Right. Trent Jones from Young out of bounds at about the 2.
You know, Mike Shanahan is the offensive coordinator of this 49er offense, and when he gets you going and he gets into his mixture, he can really get you on your heels. I mean, you say that the Giant defense is on their heels, and they are. But I'll tell you, Mike Shanahan and his play calling has really put the Giant defense on their heels.
Of course, he was with Dan Reeves at Denver, so he knows Reeves' coaching pattern. Reeves should know his.
And he was the offensive coordinator, and Reeves wanted to be the offensive coordinator, and that's why Shanahan's here.
Young to Waters, his 3rd touchdown of the day.
They're just whipping him now, Pat, every way you can be whipped.
It looks like the 49ers are playing on artificial turf, and the Giants are playing in mud.
Looks like they're playing in the pregame warm-up, and there's no defense in there.
Kofor for the extra point. That one good with 4:03 left to play in the first half. The 49er lead is 22-0. Make it 23. 3-0. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Candlestick Park. Here's the touchdown again.
Yeah, watch it here. He takes McIntyre, is going to pull to lead him. He leaves McIntyre about right at this point and just cuts it up. Everyone is playing McIntyre. They're all playing the pull. See, they're all widen out with 62. They all think that's where the ball's going. Ricky Waters looks back in there and he said, oh, look at that big hole in there.
In total yards, the 49ers have 264. The Giants have 32. Lawrence Taylor. Kofor's kick. Meggett handles it and will down it in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20.
You know, we talk about the great players in this game, and Lawrence Taylor, this could be his last football game. And you think when he's on defense on the field and the Giants are on defense and the 49ers are on offense, and you're seeing a Jerry Rice on offense and a Lawrence Taylor on defense, you could be seeing two of the best players that ever played their position.
Indeed. Sims to throw. Outside to Aaron Pierce. Maybe 4 yards. Stopped by Romanowski, and he is having a big day.
You know, Phil Simms was saying that he wants to control the tempo of the game. Said that the other day, but he wasn't thinking of this kind of game.
No.
He was thinking of slowing it down, and he said, and the Giants know this, and I think everyone that follows the Giants knows this, that the last thing they want to do is get in a shootout, and now they have to.
Well, he says, Phil does, we can't win a shootout with the 49ers. Sims to throw, gets it outside to Hampton, and he'll get a Giant first down. Knocked out of bounds by Griffin.
You mentioned the one guy, or a number of guys are playing well for the 49ers defensively here this first half, but Bill Romanowski is becoming a dominant player, and that's one of the things that the 49er defense has lacked in that front seven. They haven't had a dominant player. And this first half, Romanowski has been all over the field, both run and pass.
1st and 10 Giants at their own 31. Sims, screen pass to Howard, to Hampton. Rodney Hampton behind blockers, picked up about 6, maybe 7.
Again, you're going to see Sims come to the right here because he feels the rush come in here, and he can get to the outside. You see, he starts back here. He feels right there. He feels the pressure there. See, so he can step to the outside, wait, and get the screen pass to Hampton. He can step around the pressure. He wasn't doing that earlier.
2nd down. Behind Mark Jackson from Sims.
Yeah, Sims tried to take that short drop, but Mike Walter blitzed, and you're going to see number 99 is going to come straight up the middle. Just to see the middle linebacker there. He comes and he is unblocked. Sims tried to take that 3-step drop, and Mike Walter is right there. See, 99, boom, no one picks him up. Sims has to throw it right now, but that wasn't the way he wanted it to go. Walter made him throw it sideways.
3rd and 3. Many say this might be Mike Walter's last season. Sims. Through the hands of Mark Jackson. And again, the Giants will have to punt. 2 minutes left to play in the first half at Candlestick Park. 23-0 San Francisco. Next Sunday, one step closer to the Lombardi Trophy. Right now, the 49ers are taking a big step. The Giants are trying to take a big step right here. 4th and 3, they're going for it.
You know, Phil Simms went off. He was upset. He talked to Dan Reeves. They had the punt coverage team on. Then they took them off and brought the offense back on.
Sims back to throw. The blitz is on, and down goes Sims. Ted Washington and Mike Walter, the first 2 there.
We talked about Romanowski taking over the game. Mike Walters doing the same thing. And again, they get the big pressure here, and then the rush straight up the middle. They know if you're going to rush Phil Simms, that's the place to rush him. And again, you see number 99, Mike Walter. We saw him on that 3-step drop. They didn't block him. They come right back with the same blitz. If you don't block it the first time, try it again. Watch him. Here comes Walter, 99. No one blocks him again. 4th down. Phil Simms didn't have a chance.
1st and 10 for San Francisco at the Giant 30, and Steve Young is trying for more. Swings it through the arms of Brent Jones. Heavy pressure on Phil Simms.
Well, you can see that he's been sacked twice, hurried 5 times, knocked down 4 times. But again, the reason for that is that they haven't had the ball and that they've gotten behind and they can't run the ball. So if they don't run and play pass and those kind of things, then they're not playing Giant offense. The Giants are not a drop back pass team.
2nd and 10. They jumped and now they get back. And here's Ricky Waters. Waters still on his feet and out of bounds. Picked up about 7, running hard. Knocked out by Myron Guyton.
Again, he knows the guy to follow. You're going to see Guy McIntyre, number 62, again, the lead blocker, one of the best pulling guards in the game. You see him come out 62. He can run, find the guy, get the guy. Ricky Waters runs right off that block, gets that leg up in the air, gets about another 5 or 6 yards.
The other guard with a good block, Ralph Tam in front of Waters.
Both of these guards are good blocking, pulling guards, but again, McIntyre being one of the best in the game.
3rd and 2. Waters close to the 20. Just a little bit short of that first down. 1:40 left to go in the first half with the clock running. The 49er offensive unit wants to put it away, wants to go for it.
On Thursday when we talked to Ricky Waters, he said he was going to be calm. He has a tough time staying calm. You say the Giants went for it on 4th down. They didn't make it. The 49ers are going for it on 4th down. They want to put this game away in the first half so they can come out and just have fun in the second half.
They have that added element of their quarterback being a fine runner. This is Rice. Skips away from one, and he is knocked backwards. Unsuccessful rushing play.
Where in the heck did that one come from? I mean, all the plays you would guess that they're going to run on 4th down and short yardage, a reverse to Jerry Rice would not be the one that I would guess. Once they fake the run, pull the guard, bring Jerry Rice out here. Mark Collins wasn't fooled. He didn't go for anything. He was playing run all the way. He got up, made the force. Jerry Rice couldn't get to the outside.
Corey Miller made the stop. The Giants take over 1st and 10 at the 30.
And Mike Shanahan has to be shaken. He had to dig deep to get that one on 4th and short.
Meggett with Simms. Let's see if Meggett stays the block or comes out. They don't blitz this time. Incomplete, intended for Callaway. Back with him, Eric Davis, in good coverage. That could have been picked off.
And the Giants are just in a position now that they're just throwing it up and hoping. You know, because they haven't been able to get anything going at all. I mean, they can't get first downs. They can't run it. They just want to get some play somehow.
55 seconds on the game clock in the first half. They have 2 timeouts remaining.
I don't think Dan Reeves has any plays on that sheet for being down 23-0.
Throw it. If it says that on that sheet. Simms is back to do just that. Gets it to Meggett. Meggett. Flag on the play. Romanowski again made the stop.
Flags coming from all over. One was right down there, and then the other deep guy really lobbed one of those things in there.
I'd guess this has to be a face mask on the stop on Meggett.
Well, the one official, I think it was the side judge, he threw one about 35 yards. And he threw it high, too. I mean, he got one of those things that went up and turned over.
Face mask violation against San Francisco. Coming up on the
5-yard face mask, number 53 on the defense. That'll result in a first down.
Coming up on the NFL Today halftime report, join Greg, Terry, and Eagles standout defensive back Eric Allen for their first half analysis. Plus a report on the AFC divisional playoff game between the Raiders and the Bills in icy Rich Stadium.
Remember that interception by Eric Allen against the Jets that we saw in return?
Never forget it. Pass complete to McCaffrey. That should be enough for the Giant first down. But the clock continues to run. And Simms says hurry up.
Well, the Giants, if they could just get in a, just get a field goal here before they go in, and then, get that wake-up call, and in the locker room and come out and make some kind of game out of it here in the second half.
They have 2 timeouts left. Wide open again is McCaffrey. Again, he can't get out of bounds, and they'll have to stop this one with a timeout. 16 seconds left in the first half, with the 49ers leading the Giants 23-0. Beautiful for the San Francisco 49er fans. Goodyear blimp hovering overhead and furnishing us with those marvelous aerial views of Candlestick Park and this sellout crowd. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Phil Simms rolls left. Back across the field to Howard Cross, who's wide open. Cross inside the 10 to about the 8. Stopped by Troy Wilson and Dana Hall. 23-yard pickup, and the Giants used their last timeout.
But I think they found out something, you know, again, that they have to move the pocket a little. Simms had a little success moving it to the right. That time, moved the pocket to the left and threw all the way back across the field to cross. So that's probably something we're going to see a lot more of in the second half.
Giants have got their field goal unit on the field. David Treadwell, Mike Horan, the holder.
You know, in any game, Pat, I always felt coaching that the toughest points are the first points. You always have to get something. I remember years ago I learned that when I first started my first year coaching from George Plandon. He said, whatever it is, always take that field goals, always get your points first. Once you get your points, then the others come easier.
And George happened to be the kicker.
George was a kicker, but he was 10 years older than me. He was a player, too.
Treadwell. And the field goal is good from 25 yards. That's the end of the first half with the score. The 49ers 23, the Giants 3.
Report is sponsored by new loose fit Dockers. Nobody does pants like Dockers.
Welcome back to our studios here in New York, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel, along with 2 guys who picked the New York Giants to win this football game. My partner, Terry Bradshaw, and Eric Allen, the Pro Bowl cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles. It has been a shocker so far, has it not?
It has. The Giants have come out slow, very slow. They're losing the battle at the line of scrimmage. And from that point, everything else is working in San Francisco's favor.
Yeah. What do you think?
You know, the 49ers have totally dominated this game now in every phase and the emotional part. You know, people say, well, in the NFL, guys don't play with emotion. You do that in college. But honest to goodness, you do have a lot of emotion in playoff games. And the 49ers, with everyone saying they can't do it, and you and Eric led me to say that when the show started. I just want that clear right now. But anyway, they have totally dominated this game, and the Giants are now taken completely out of their ball attack, which is run the football. They cannot run the football and win the football game now. They have got to throw the football, which matches right into what the 49ers want them to do.
Yeah, quickly, do the Giants chuck the game plan for the second half?
They have to. This is the last game of the season. They have to try and throw the ball. Look for McCaffrey maybe to get it in the game. Callaway, maybe Mark Jackson. Hopefully someone can make a big play for them.
Don't tell me they have to. You're the one that picked the Giants before the game.
You know, I didn't want to pick them. He made me pick them.
I know you did, too. In one game played earlier today, as the process of knocking the 8 remaining teams down to 4 began, the Buffalo Bills beat the Raiders by a score of 29-23 in some very cold temperatures in Buffalo. Here's Jeff Hostetler throwing.
Man, I picked this score earlier, Buffalo to win this game, Greg. Deep crossing route, frozen field. You got to be sure of your coverage. You can't take gambles. You see right there, Buffalo gambled Brown all the way for a touchdown.
But Jim Kelly, 27 of 37, 287 yards and 2 touchdowns to Bill Brooks today. Our Dan Jiggets on hand with some post-game thoughts.
Hey, Greg and Terry. You know, it was thought when this game began that maybe the cold temperatures would really confine the Raiders' passing game, and who knows, freeze out the Buffalo Bills in their frantic no-huddle offense. With temperatures down to minus 32 degrees wind chill factor, Jim Kelly did not allow that to happen in the second half.
The wind we thought might be a factor at the beginning of the game, and it really wasn't. We're used to playing in the cold weather. Not quite this cold, though. At times it was hard to hold on to the football. I mean, we had some snap problems a couple times, but overall, the receivers ran precise routes, and the key to the game, and I said before we started, was the offensive line. If they gave me time to throw, we're going to be able to complete them. That's what happened today.
We shot ourselves in the foot offensively. I think but you know, defensively, you know, we had a tough time holding them, and you know, they got on a roll, and we couldn't keep up with them. I think we killed ourselves.
So for the 5th time in 6 years, the Buffalo Bills will go back to the AFC Championship game and maybe onto their 4th straight Super Bowl. And maybe the 4th time will be a charm. Greg and Terry.
Dan looked cold, didn't he? Yeah.
I'm cold myself.
Thank you, Dan. Updating the figure skating situation now. The U.S. Figure Skating Association said today that it is reviewing Tonya Harding's status on the Olympic team. That statement comes amid reports that 2 men arrested in the clubbing of Harding's rival, Nancy Kerrigan, have implicated Harding. As for the skater herself, here is footage of her and husband Jeff Gillooly taken this morning.
We can't talk about the specifics. Sure. And, you know, we're just as anxious to talk to you guys as you are to us, and there'll be more in a few days.
Yeah, hopefully.
How are you feeling right now?
It's been a long week, but we're feeling okay.
Any plans, at least for the near future?
Hopefully to get some rest, maybe.
Yeah, really?
You guys too, huh?
Yeah.
See you later.
Hang in there, Tanya.
Bye.
To be continued. A timeout here, and then back with Pat and John from Candlestick after this word from your local station.
Returning to the field at Candlestick, where the 49ers lead the Giants 23-3. Let's now send you down on the field to Leslie Visser.
Pat, this San Francisco treat is not what the Giants had in mind. When the Giants went up on the field, went into the locker room, they had a mixture of frustration and concern, although Lawrence Taylor said to me, not to worry, we've been in this position before. Defensive coordinator Mike Nolan said, unfortunately, that's true. This is the 3rd week in a row that the Giants have been sluggish in the first half. He said, we've got to limit the big plays and execute better underneath. For the 49ers, they had a business-like trip into the locker room. Great field position, great pass protection, great defense. Not much to complain about, Pat.
All right, Leslie, thank you very much. John Madden, you heard what Leslie said about the Giants coming from behind or having to come from behind and regroup at the halftime past 2 weeks. Can they do it again?
I don't think so. I think that the past 2 weeks they had the home field. I think they had weather against the Cowboys. They took the wide receivers out of the game against the Cowboys. Last week they played the Minnesota Vikings that couldn't score a lot of points anyway. This is a different story here today. When you're playing the 49ers in Candlestick, the way they're playing, even if they come back, the 49ers are still going to score a lot more points.
Well, they got to have 20 points to get even. So we'll see what develops here in the second half from Candlestick, where the 49ers lead it 23-3.
Divisional playoff game is sponsored by American Honda, making quality cars in America for the past 11 years. AT&T, we help put your world within reach. American Airlines, something special in the air. And by McDonald's, what you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Beautiful skyline of San Francisco. And things are beautiful for 49er fans and for the 49er football team today as they lead the Giants 23-3, and they have dominated.
If you look where they dominated, you see they had 15 first downs, and the Giants only had 6, and that's where the Giants usually get it. Look at this. The Giants only had 11 yards rushing, and the time of possession, again, only half. Now, usually, in the Giants, when they win, when they do well, that's usually the opposite. You know, they usually have a lot of first downs. They usually lead in rushing yardage, and they usually lead in time of possession.
In effect, the 49ers have just taken Rodney Hampton completely out of the game. He has 4 carries for 4 yards.
And I think that, you know, Rodney Hampton's a guy who has to get into a rhythm. He has to get into sync, and I think that's one of the mistakes that the Giants made early, is getting away from Rodney Hampton too soon. Although when you see time of possession, they didn't have a lot of shots either.
This is going to be Dave Meggett. Hammered down just outside the 20. Antonio Goss and Dana Hall. The Giants, as we mentioned before, in the last 2 weeks, when they came out in the second half, looked like a different football team. They need a complete turnaround in this game.
Well, they did. In those 2 games, they come out much more aggressively. And when you think of aggressiveness, you think of aggressiveness on special teams and aggressiveness on defense. But you also have to have aggressiveness on offense. They're starting here with 3 wide receivers.
First and 10, Sims to throw it. Trying to go screen pass, had to throw it away. trying to run a screen to Hampton, and the 49ers read it well.
Yeah, and again, a screen pass is like a play pass. It doesn't work well until you get other things going. I mean, you have to be able to throw the ball to get a screen pass. You have to be able to run to do play pass, and they haven't thrown the ball well enough to do the screens yet. Dana Stubblefield was right on Sims, and he had to rush there, and then the rest of the rush went off with Hampton, so the 49er defense played that one well.
2nd and 10. Giants from their own 21. Trailing by 20 points. Jackson goes in motion. Sims to throw it. To McCaffrey. And McCaffrey blew the whistle. McCaffrey got the first down with the after-catch struggle.
Yeah, it seemed like they blew that whistle before McCaffrey even had the ball.
It's got to be offensive pass interference against McCaffrey.
Now, I would think it would be a play that didn't even count. I mean, a play that the defense jumped off sides or something, or went to the neutral zone, and the whistle blew before the ball was put in play.
He did blow the whistle early. Bernie Kukar.
Illegal use of hands, number 96 on the defense, hands to the face. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Called against Dennis Brown. I don't understand that.
Well, that's no need to blow the whistle early because McCaffrey was still catching the ball and running with it. And maybe, you know, sometimes an official means to throw a flag and he blows the whistle, because that's not something that would have happened before the play started.
Well, the ball's still down over by the sideline where McCaffrey was. And now that official has just run in to talk to the referee.
You know, that's one thing I don't like about playoff officiating is they don't keep their regular crews together. They're kind of an all-star crew, you know, done by grading. And I always think they ought to grade them by crews, and the best crews do the playoffs. They grade them individually, and the best individuals do the playoffs, but they haven't worked together as a crew.
Well, now they've taken that ball that was on the sideline, or close to the sideline, out of play. Now they put the ball back in the middle of the field. And it's still first down. 1st and 5, I think. This is Jackson on a reverse. Nothing doing. Romanowski again on the stop with an assist from Don Griffin.
You know that in these type of things, your regular players have to play well, and your great players have to play super. And I think on the 49ers defense, they've done that. I mean, Romanowski, and we saw Mike Walter. They have really stepped up today for this 49er defense.
It is 2nd and 10 now after all that confusion on our part and their part. Here's Sims to throw it. Incomplete, intended for Howard, cross through his hands.
We talk about the pass rush and Phil Sims, and he's told us over the year that it's one of those things that you have to tell yourself, stand in there, stand in there, stand in. And there's not many tougher quarterbacks in the league than Phil Sims, but you have to not look at the rush, but feel it and look downfield, and that's tough, especially when you get behind like this.
And right now, he appears to be feeling the rush, and he's been rushed.
Yeah, and I think sometimes he's feeling the rush that isn't there, too.
3rd and 10. He felt that one. Hit in the back by somebody blitzing around the corner. Larry Roberts.
And that was Larry Roberts. I think he went right around Eric Moore. And if Sims was worried about anything, it was that area. Here's Roberts here, and he's going to cover right around here, around Eric Moore. And he's the first guy that puts the pressure. See, Moore starts to the outside. Roberts just beats him to the outside and hits Sims as he's throwing the ball.
So the Giants will have to punt. Mike Horan to punt to Dexter Carter. Short kick. Carter will handle it. Out of bounds at about the 40. The 49ers again take over in pretty good shape. Stopped by David Tate. You got some pretty impressive people in the opening ceremonies.
Oh, you can't beat that. Those guys are just getting aired out. They've run all over.
Yeah.
We've gone all over with that torch all the way across the country, into Canada, Alaska, down into Mexico, and then back into the United States. We've crisscrossed the country with that thing.
This is Steve Young. Steps out of bounds. He was looking for John Taylor, trying to hit him on a slant. That was taken away. Steve Young has been outstanding.
Well, you know, the thing that they do best is just make you see Jerry Rice is, you know, 3 out of 4. John Taylor, 2 out of 3. They're the wide receivers. Ricky Waters, 3 out of 3. Brent Jones, the tight end, 3 for 4. The rest of the team, 1 for 2. But the thing that he does, again, is to keep these guys happy. Keep these 2 guys happy by throwing them. Keep him happy by running and throwing. But those guys have to be in the game, and then you get a lot of points.
2nd and 9. That's Mark Logan, who filled in so well for Rathman when he was out with a bad shoulder. This play is not successful, but Logan.
Mark Logan is a different type of fullback than Tom Rathman. You know, Mark Logan is a guy who can break a big play for you, you know, catch a big pass, but, you know, he's not what Tom Rathman is. I mean, Tom Rathman is kind of the extra guard, the lead blocker, the pass protector, the guy who kind of solidifies and holds everything together for you.
3rd and 8. The 49ers seem to have lost a little of the hopped-up pace they had earlier in the game. Here's Young back to throw it. Out of the pocket, still looking, and down he goes. The defense just kept after him.
Well, and it's Lawrence Taylor again. And, you know, and that's the same way that they got McMahon last week. Lawrence Taylor gets up, takes that outside, stops him, and then that backside just comes in and gets a quarterback.
So San Francisco will have to punt. Let's watch it again.
Well, see, Taylor, he's going to take the inside, and now when Steve Young takes off, Taylor chases him, see, and gets his outside shoulder. Then that makes him bring the ball back and stop. And then that backside pressure comes and gets him.
That from Canavis McGee.
49ers only had 10 guys on the field, Pat. They just got their 11th in now.
He was an important guy, too.
One of the guys that could go down in coverage when the ball snapped.
Will Flyers kick handled by Meggett at the 20. Down right there by Romanowski. For the game he's played. 45 yards on the punt by Wilmsmeyer. Now Roma will stay in and play defense. Divisional playoff game. The 49ers 23, the Giants 3. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Take a look at what the Giants have done today rushing. 11 yards. That's not what they had in mind. Long count by Sims on 1st down. Throws over the head of Jackson. I don't know if that was just a misread or Sims was just wild high.
This could be Lawrence Taylor's last game, as we said before, so he's doing everything he can. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen him with a chalkboard drawing plays, but he's over there trying to draw defenses that they should do, or trying to draw what Steve Young is doing.
That's the first time you're right. I always thought he was left-handed.
Oh, he grips it and rips it right-handed.
2nd and 10. Sims to throw. Pressure. McCaffrey. Incomplete. Incomplete pass as they still struggle for it. McDonald.
Well, the officials ought to blow those whistles, and everyone blow them and make them stop, because it was incomplete, but everyone has to start blowing whistles and getting these guys to stop. McDonald's so excited. He just wants to keep on playing, maybe even after he does hear that first whistle.
He was in a swing around struggle with, I believe, Callaway. Callaway says, hey, it's me you want.
Yeah, but then you see the guy.
Yeah.
You know, Dan Reeves was telling us that Riesenberg is the hardest working offensive lineman he's ever seen. He said every pass, even in practice, he's downfield. He was downfield on that play.
3rd and 10. Sims steps up. He might have been over the line of scrimmage again. Flag on the play as he lofted it to Callaway, but I think he was over the line again.
Yeah, he was over the line, and this 49er defense, and again, the 49er offense, by getting so far ahead, has completely frustrated the Giants here today.
10:56 left to play in the third quarter. It's still 23-3.
Illegal forward pass.
Illegal forward
the quarterback was across the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Also loss of down.
Loss of down, which means it's fourth, and they'll have to punt it.
I think the Giants, had that tough game with the Dallas Cowboys, the last regular season game, and had that tough game last week in Minnesota in the cold weather against Minnesota in New York, and I think it's just all showing up right now.
Bad punt by Haran, bounces at midfield.
Let's go, let's go.
And the 49ers will take over right at midfield. 1st and 10, leading by 20 points. One of the world's most enduring corporate symbols, the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, which is based not far from here in Carson, California. Been providing these beautiful aerial pictures today of Candlestick Park in the Bay Area on an absolutely perfect day, especially for the 49ers. Right at midfield, 1st and 10. Steve Young for more. Batted down. Looking in the direction of Brent Jones.
We were talking how, you get in playoffs and the finality of it, the intensity is stronger each week, but it doesn't seem to be true. I mean, it doesn't seem to be true that the Giants don't have that intensity today. They don't have the intensity they had last week, and the 49ers now don't have the intensity in the second half that they had in the first half.
They had it in the beginning, but now it looks like they've decided, well, let's just sit on it. Outside of Waters. Waters out of bounds. He picked up 4 yards, knocked out by Mark Collins. Yeah, the 49ers definitely are not going at the pace they were early. Early, they looked like they did earlier in the year when we saw them in the second half at Detroit.
Well, you got to get that ball out there to Jerry Rice and then to John Taylor and the big plays, break Waters through, kind of get the excitement back in this offense.
Young to throw it. Gets it to Waters. Waters has the 49er first down. Inside the Giant 35, about the 33.
And he's the guy that can do it, too.
Yep.
I mean, Ricky Waters is a guy that has electricity in him. You see he's here in the backfield, so he's the only guy in the backfield now. He has to find a hole there. See, he finds a hole between the guard and the tackle, then he just works out to the left side, finds that hole, and then gets a first down. But the first thing he has to do is find a hole to get through in that offensive and defensive line. And he found it right there between McIntyre and Steve Wallace.
1st and 10, 49ers. Potter in motion. The handoff is to Logan. Logan. Another San Francisco first down. The ball out of bounds. It'll still belong to the 49ers. Mark Collins couldn't quite keep it in and recover it. Bailey made the stop. Excuse me.
I was just going to say, these guards are really blocking well today. We saw McIntyre do it. That time it was Tam. Watch him. Here's Lawrence Taylor. Tam is going to get the block right here on Lawrence Taylor. Watch Ralph Tam. Boom. He just takes that outside leg, knocks him down. Harris Barton comes around, gets Bailey. And I'll tell you, these guys blocking in the open field have been picture perfect today. We've had some great looking sweeps.
And you don't see much of those anymore.
No, and then, I mean, we've seen guards pull, tackles pull, and then make good blocks in the open field.
The handoff is to Waters. Trips away from one man, hammers down to about the 15. Corey Raymond knocked him out of bounds.
Yeah, if we just look at the play here, we see Steve Wallace is looking to get the outside. In other words, he's going to take 2 guys. Watch 74 there. He takes Fox to the inside and then grabs Taylor's outside. That's the way you block 2. He's trying to get that outside free for Waters. Waters gives that straight arm there. See how the straight arm works? That's the play that frees him, and then he tries to finish it off with his shoulder.
Second down and 6. Steve Young changing the play. Swings it to Rathman. Rathman to the 6. And another 49er first down, stopped by Mark Collins.
And Reeves was saying during the week he looked at the films of the 49ers. He thought he could find some weaknesses, and he said he couldn't find any weaknesses on film, and he's not seeing any weaknesses here on the field either.
They're using all their weapons, and they have many.
George Seifert said in that week that they had off, they went back to fundamentals of blocking and tackling, and it has been very obvious today.
First and goal at the 6. The San Francisco 49ers trying to add to their lead. That's Ricky Waters. 4 touchdowns for Waters on a cutback.
I have never seen it so easy to run on the New York Giants inside the 5-yard line as it has been today. Or maybe the 49ers have made it easy.
The blocking of that offensive line and the running of Waters.
Ricky Waters starts to stretch it out, and then boom, right there makes the cutback. And about 2 Giant missed tackles. But you know, the Giants aren't in position to hit. They're in position to reach. And they've been reaching this whole game. The 49ers have just beaten them to the punch this whole game.
Kofer for the extra point is good. 30-3. 4 touchdowns by Waters, a playoff record. Just been set by number 32.
Here's the touchdown. Here's Ricky Waters. You get a good double team here, blocked by Rathman here and around there. What? Corey Miller doesn't really play that ball very well, but does Ricky Waters use his blockers?
And his arm to ward off Eric Howard. Kofer's kick is handled by Callaway, and they stay in the end zone. They'll take over at the 20.
Yeah, after that, that was his 4th touchdown pass. You said it's a playoff record. Listen to who he's going to give the game balls to.
He's calling.
My mom, my dad, my sister, and my nephew. Everybody.
For everybody.
His mom, his dad, his sister, and his nephew.
Now he's calling to see who else is at home. Anybody else want a touchdown?
I think the mom was first. You notice that?
Yeah,
then the
always
dad,
is.
then the sister. I think the nephew was more of an afterthought. He may get beaten out on that 4th game ball.
The handoff from Sims to Hampton straight ahead and maybe a yard.
I think Steve Young's trying to talk him out of one of those game balls.
Yeah.
Maybe that one that was going to the nephew. Steve would say, how about me? Just give one to your mom, your dad, and your sister, and me. Give me the 4th one.
He looks like he's serious about whatever it is.
You know, Ricky Waters talks all the time. And a lot of times, you know, they don't listen to him, and players walk away, coaches walk away. They got to calm him down. When you score 4 touchdowns, I think they're all going to listen to him today.
Nephew or not. Here's Sims. To McCaffrey. Lunging out to the 29, short of the first down. Stopped by Eric Davis and John Johnson.
You know, I think over the last 3 or 4 weeks, Phil Simms really doesn't have a lot of confidence in Mark Jackson. Jackson is a kind of a hot and cold receiver, and he's kind of gone cold lately. And I think that Ed McCaffrey is the guy that has become more of Simms's go-to guy.
They need a yard, and this is Rodney Hampton. He got to yard. Tackled by Tim McDonald. Might have given you the wrong impression about the record set by Waters. 4 touchdowns by number 32 today is a new postseason record. Any postseason game. 4 touchdowns.
And that means that he's going to have 4 footballs for those touchdowns, and he's going to have to go out here like Santa Claus with a sack over his back, sack of footballs.
First and 10 Giants at their own 34. Here's Sims to throw it. Well, to try to throw it. Stubblefield again gets the sack.
Now there is a guy who has really come along for the 49ers, Dana Stubblefield. They need a defensive lineman. He was a #1 draft choice. He kind of had a slow start, but he really came along towards the end of the season. And right now, he is probably the most consistent of the defensive linemen. You see that he's been putting more pressure than anyone on Phil Simms today. In fact, you see Simms looked at him and said, "Oh no, not number 94 again."
3 sacks today by that 49er defense on Simms. On second down, he's back again. This time, good time. McCaffrey, the intended receiver, the ball's out of bounds. Don Griffin, the defender.
Yeah, that time what they did is William Roberts and Eric Moore. Watch Stubblefield, he's right here. He's going to go in here, and Roberts here and Moore here, double team him. And once he started getting the pressure, they say, let's keep that guy off him. So they got 2 blockers on him, and he's still getting his hand up in front of Phil Simms' face.
And it's 3rd and 15. 5:10 left in the 3rd quarter. 30-3 San Francisco. To Jackson. Will not get enough for a first down. Stopped by McDonald and Magruder. And we'll see Michael Horan, I believe, again, although I don't see him yet.
I think Dan Reeves knows that, you know, there's no tomorrow here,
right.
that if you're going to go, if you're going to have any chance at all, and you're down 30-3, you can't be punting now.
4th and 3. Jackson, the man in motion. Simms chase out of the pocket, and down he goes. Tripped up by Troy Wilson, but again a strong rush from Stubblefield.
Troy Wilson gets the sack because he was the guy that was out there for the flush.
The 49ers take over, leading 30-3. At Candlestick Park, the 49ers leading 30-3.
And then that last play, it was Ted Washington, 97. He got the pressure that flushed Phil Simms out right into Troy Wilson.
That was on 4th down, and so the 49ers take over at the Giant 36, leading already 30-3. It's starting in good shape.
Been a long day for those pass protectors and for Phil Simms. One, he hasn't gotten too many guys open downfield and hasn't had any time.
This is Rathman. Flag on the play. Rathman down for another first down out of bounds at the 20, but the penalty marker thrown early, and it's probably going to be holding against the 49ers.
I'll tell you, but those linemen, again, in the open field, really block well to spring runners. That time it was Harris Barton.
Holding, number 62 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
The holding called against Guy McIntyre.
Guy McIntyre, we've seen him make some good lead blocks today. We've seen Ralph Tam do it. On that play, it was Harris Barton. Harris Barton, he came all the way from the right side to make it. But I'll tell you, these 3 guys have really played well today because Ricky Waters has 4 touchdowns running, and they've all been inside.
That was Logan on the move, and the pass is to Logan. Mark Logan down to about the 37. Corey Raymond and Corey Miller knocked him out of bounds.
Yeah, Pat, if you look at where they've run the ball today, they've run left 8 times for 53 yards, but look at this, in the middle, 11 times for 20 yards and 4 touchdowns. They've run to the right 7 times for 36 yards. So they've moved it right, left, and middle, again, with all 4 of Ricky Waters' touchdowns being in the middle.
2nd and 12 for the 49ers at the Giant 37. Waters swings in motion to the right. Young to Brent Jones. That looks like about a yard shy of the first down. Michael Brooks on the stop. Young had the ball on the way before Brent Jones ever turned around.
And he didn't have to because his pass protection is just excellent. I mean, he's standing back there now, and there's no one even getting within 5 yards of Steve Young. Just watch this line here. I mean, boom, boom, boom. You just keep everyone right there, and he just comes back 5-step drop, just turns it out there to Brent Jones.
3rd and 1. Waters and Rathman behind Steve Young. That's Waters. Tripped up just as he crossed the 10. That'll make it 1st and goal at about the 7. He almost had his 5th.
Again, Ralph Tam, watch him. He's a right guard. He's going to pull here. He's the guy that makes the block this time, number 64. Watch 64 right there. You come, you get in the lead, you turn upfield, you get square. What, you make that block, and it just takes a little to spring Ricky Waters. But I think that this 49er offensive line has blocked better today for more meaningful runs in the open field than I have ever seen.
They really have. Waters, outstanding running. The line's done a great job. Here's Ricky Waters. Down to about the 3. Stopped by Myron Guyton.
Well, he already has one from his mom, his dad, his sister, and his nephew. I wonder what he'd do with that 5th one.
Maybe a niece or a cousin?
I don't know. You know, the talk was about the running backs and what they're going to do. And remember, we were talking to Ricky Waters the other day, and he said, I want to show him there's another back in this game besides Rodney Hampton. You look at the stats today, I think everyone's going to know there was another back in this game.
And a very good one. Waters and Rathman behind Young on 2nd down. Waters, 5 for the day. 5 touchdowns by Ricky Waters. "21 carries, 104 yards, 5 touchdowns, Ricky Waters." There is indeed another back on the field.
Yeah, we knew that when everyone's trying to get that 5th ball now. Ricky Waters has run out of family. They look for some pets.
He may have to adopt somebody. Hofer's extra point is good. It's 37-3.
You know, if there's ever been one of those things where you could say, I knew it was going to happen, it was kind of with Ricky Waters. I mean, he was so up and so hyper on Thursday. And then today he was out here and he took a lap around and went and talked to all the fans and said, we need you today. And I mean, he was ready. You talk about guys being ready to play football. For this day, Ricky Waters was ready.
A lot of people play this game a long time and don't score 5 touchdowns.
I think the 4 touchdowns was the record in playoffs. And as they say, you know, that the great players step up in big games.
As a matter of fact, one of those people who played this game a long time, 10 years, is standing next to you and scored 1 touchdown. He has 5 in one day. One afternoon, 1 game.
Yeah, isn't it funny how the more touchdowns you get, the more friends you get?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Jesse Sapullo's always a friend. I mean, your center, your offensive lineman, they always are. But just watch the guys that are walking up to Ricky Waters. There's guys in suits walking up.
Oh, he's going to have an entourage.
Yeah, and the entourage is growing.
Dave Maggott out of the end zone for the Giants to the 23. He's still excited.
So he's never seen holes like that. Those holes are awesome. He's shaking everyone's hand. But I tell you, it has to go to that offensive line. He was with the right guy, with Jesse Sapullo. We talked about the job that Jesse's done inside. Guy McIntyre, the left guard. Ralph Tam has really come up big in this game.
The 2 tackles have done well.
Well, those 2 tackles always play well.
They do. That's Hampton. No gain. They have shut Rodney Hampton down today. Stubblefield again involved in the tackle. Romanowski with him.
If you look, we talked about the touchdowns in playoff games.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is most touchdowns in any game. And look at those names. Ernie Nevers, Dub Jones, Gale Sayers.
Dub Jones, Burt Jones' father.
That was Burt Jones' dad, yeah.
Gale Sayers, I saw him do that.
Ernie Nevers, he was from right down here at Stanford.
Right. Pass was dropped. Incomplete. Callaway.
This whole defense has stepped up too. Everyone was saying, and the defensive line has taken a lot of criticism for not playing well. The linebackers and the secondary for not tackling in those last couple of games. And I don't know what they did in that extra week, but they're a totally different team than that team that finished the season on a Monday night.
Well, Ted Washington wouldn't talk to anyone until last week. And they were maligned, they were criticized, and he finally said, hey, leave us alone. We'll take care of our situation. Sims' arm was hit, and the pass is picked off by Eric Davis. The ball fluttered out of there. Sims was hit just as he let it go.
Well, you want to be peaking in the playoffs, and I'll tell you, we're watching a peaking team in this 49er group.
That's P-E-A-K.
Right.
Davis was with the interception.
Sims is going to come out and throw this ball to the right, and he's been getting pressure all day. They don't worry about the run or anything. You just see that one just took off on him, got up in the air. Davis just stepped right in front of McCaffrey.
So the 49ers take over at the Giant 35. Ricky Waters is the lone setback. Waters straight ahead. Inside the 30 to about the 28. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. San Francisco 37. The Giants 3. Our coverage will continue.
Sponsored by Subway.
It usually boils down to the team that can run the ball. The 49ers 158 yards. Ricky Waters 5 touchdowns. But look at the bottom statistic. The time of possession. That usually belongs to the Giants. Today it doesn't.
Today was a combination of Steve Young's perfect passing, Ricky Waters' running, and an offensive line that has played excellent.
Amp, Lee, and Logan. Logan's touchdown this time. Mark Logan gets the touchdown. Ricky Waters has 5. Kofor will try to add the extra point to make it 44-3.
That's all the running backs. You see, they got together, got in that little circle, and just gave a little chant for each other.
Bono is holding. I'd expect we'd see him at quarterback when the 49ers get the ball back. 44-3.
NFC Divisional Playoff game is sponsored by UPS, the official package delivery company of the NFL. Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? The Travelers Insurance Companies. And by Cellular One, clear across America.
Candlestick Park, the friendly home of the 49ers, especially today as they lead 44-3.
Steve Young's probably getting the news he's not going to be in there anymore, that Steve Bono will take the next series and he can get ready for the championship game.
Meggett on the kickoff return out to about the 25. Dave Brown is going to be the Giant quarterback instead of Phil Simms. Steve Young, in all likelihood, as you said, John, will give way to Steve Bono.
Well, he better get his chin strap off the back of his hat and get it towards the front if he's going to go play. You got to keep that hat on your head. You have your chin strap like that, man, it'll go flying off.
Lewis Tillman is the running back for the Giants. Brown, the quarterback. Fumble, but he was down. He was down.
And I think the biggest thing for the 49ers going into this championship game and for George Seifert is a new confidence. You know, that they were a good team. At one time, people thought maybe they were the best team in the NFL. Then they lost 3 out of their last 4. And with that, they lost a little confidence. But I think they gained it back today, especially in their defense. I mean, their defense is playing like a playoff defense.
That was Ralph Tam, the offensive guard, which you just saw a moment ago. What of a game he's played. Brown gets it to Meggett. Meggett gets the first down. Good throw. Remarkable throw. John Johnson made the stop.
Yeah, he had a guy on him. I think Todd Kelly was on him, just hanging on him when he threw that. He's watching. He's going to come out here to the outside. He goes on a bootleg. He's going down, being swung around. Just throws it out there to Meggett.
Meggett has 22 total yards today. 1st and 10. That includes that catch just there. Brown rolling right. Flag on the play. Pass incomplete. Intended for Callaway. Jesse Sapolo, who's had an outstanding year and afternoon.
Well, we showed Tam, and then we showed Jesse Sapolo, and that is part of that inside. The other part was, of course, Guy McIntyre, the left guard. 2 tackles, Harris Barton, Steve Wallace, 2 Pro Bowl tackles.
It's a pretty formidable lineup. There's McIntyre.
And McIntyre, he can run. We saw him run today out there with Ricky Waters. He was almost running as fast as Ricky Waters.
Harris Barton,
one of the better tackles in football.
Illegal motion on the offense.
He can play guard, tackle, or center.
Repeat first down.
There's Phil Simms. He had a great year, but a frustrating afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, he was never able to get it started today. I mean, he didn't have time. He was rushed all day. His receivers weren't really open. He didn't have a running game going.
1st and 15. Brown back to throw. Gets it to Mark Jackson. Got about 4 yards. Stopped by Antonio Goss.
You know, the tough thing about this for the Giants is you come out here to play and you think you're going to win and you think you're going to be in the championship game the next week. And then when you lose, your whole season's over. You don't play another game until August. And maybe if you're Lawrence Taylor and you're going to retire, you never play another game the rest of your life. And that is tough.
Especially a defeat like this. Brown to McCaffrey. McCaffrey a little bit shy of a first down. Magruder made the stop.
I think that guy that just walked by was Huey Lewis. Did you see him? I mean, a quarterback has a good game, and here comes Huey Lewis out of the stands. Huey Lewis was on the sideline shaking hands. Guys come, if you have a good game, guys come from all over. I mean, singers come. Huey Lewis right there. When the game started, he was out of state. He saw the game up there, flew in and got down there to shake hands.
Meggett does not get the first down, I don't believe.
Ricky Waters has a good game. Guys in suits are coming up.
Hi, John.
I think he was someplace else. Hey, Huey, how you doing?
Where's the news?
he was just sitting around. Someone gave him that hat and jacket and said, go down on the field.
A lot of guys there with scarves and suits. And
I think Steve Young may be talking about that hit that he took. Remember that hit he took early from Mark Collins?
Yeah.
He got that stinger down his back.
Lewis Tillman to midfield. He'll get the first down.
Wait a minute. Calm down, calm down. We'll feed you. Wait till the game's over.
Want to be on the Letterman show?
That has to be the dog that chases the frisbee.
Yeah,
you know, they want to go all the time. They don't care about football. I said enough of this game. Let's get the frisbees out.
The bandages out for Ralph Tamm's knee.
Yeah, but that's the difference. You see an offensive lineman, Pat, you do your own thing. Yeah. The backs, quarterback, they have like 7 guys working on it.
And Huey Lewis.
I'm shaking hands, the whole thing. The poor old guard, he has his own ace bandage. Look, there's no one there. They don't give him any tape. He has to work his own pants.
The guy came over and picked up the towel.
Look, if he has to get the thing, there's no one helps a guard. And Ralph Tamm played like heck today, too.
He sure did.
Look, he doesn't know how to fix that stuff. He just lets it hang out.
I hope he doesn't get fined for no socks.
That's his knee pad there. He's trying to get his knee pad out of there.
Your team is winning.
I think that kid's going to be a nose tackle. It's going to be a 2-gapper.
Brown to throw. Dumps it out to Tillman. Tillman will get a giant first down and more. Damian Russell on the stop. Well, now, that's one sport I don't think I would participate in.
What's that, throwing it or catching it?
Fighting for it. Hey.
Then the horses, they come out to I think they're the police horses.
Yeah.
And they come out to surround the field after the game so the fans don't come out and tear down the goalposts.
They don't lose many arguments.
We got dogs, we got horses.
Pass is picked off by Raven Caldwell. At the 30-yard line, Raven Caldwell. A few decorations and some happy 49er fans. Even the horse is smiling. 44-3, they lead.
New York, with a reminder that tomorrow at noon Eastern time on the NFL Today, we'll have live reports from Texas Stadium where Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers hope to ambush Dallas' defense of a Super Bowl crown. And I'll sit down with Cowboys defensive coordinator Butch Davis to strategize about stopping the Pack attack. We'll have live reports from the AFC Divisional playoff in Houston where the Oilers will host the Chiefs, and Vikings head coach Dennis Green will be our guest here in the studio. That's tomorrow at noon on the NFL Today. All you need to know.
6:53 left to play, and the 49ers ahead 44-3. That's ball is destined for Raven Caldwell's locker. Ravens pick.
That's Bronco Hennick, the equipment man for the 49ers.
Bronco.
Yeah, old Bronco. I don't know if he's going to let Ricky Waters have 5 footballs, though.
This is Logan. Mark Logan for another 49er first down. Knocked out of bounds by Bailey.
There's a game ball distribution. You know the mother has to get one, and you know the father. See, the second one is father, it's not brother. Second one is father, and then sister, nephew, and then the rest of the family gets one.
To share.
Yeah, but you always put the mother first. And the father, you know, is the one that always tells him, and you know, you have to spin more. Remember when he stopped spinning, his father told him how to spin.
Steve Bono is the 49er quarterback. The handoff is to Amp Lee, who slides out close to the 50, stopped by Corey Whitmer, Marcus Buckley.
The 49ers are in a good position because they can relax after this game because they don't know who they're going to play next week. So there's nothing they can do about it. So they can go home, enjoy tonight, then they can watch the Green Bay-Dallas game tomorrow and know that a week from tomorrow they're going to play the winner of that game.
If it's Green Bay, it'll be here. If it's Dallas, it'll be there.
So they don't know if they're coming or going, but they're awfully happy about it.
2nd and 5. Lee is the man in motion. Bono hands to Logan. He's down in the backfield. Stopped for a loss by Lawrence Taylor.
I would think that Lawrence Taylor, that this is probably his last game, and I think he wants to finish it out. You know, you would think that a guy's last game, that you would give him that. I mean, you'll give him what he wants.
After the career he's had.
And we've known Lawrence Taylor for so long, you wouldn't have to guess, do you want to take your last game on the sideline or on the field? Just look what he's done over his career.
10 consecutive Pro Bowl selections. Rookie of the Year, MVP, you name it. He's captured it. Here's Bono. Gets it to Amp Lee, and Lee will not get enough for a first down. Carlton Bailey and Mike Fox wrap him up. A fumble, and the Giants recovered. Didn't see the fumble. Mark Collins played with both knees bad last week, injured the week before. There's the fumble.
Yeah, the ball is knocked out. The ball is knocked out just before he goes down. He wasn't down.
Corey Whitmer recovered it.
Corey Whitmer was the last guy that hit it, and I think he's the guy that finally knocked it out.
Brown is the quarterback. Handoff is to Lewis Tillman. Larry Kelm came up to make the stop for San Francisco as the clock continues to run. 4.5 minutes left. 44 to 3.
You know, we were talking to Tim McDonald yesterday about, or Thursday, about the 49ers and the defense, and he says one thing that defensively we're going to do, he said, we're not going to let Rodney Hampton beat us.
Well, they didn't.
And no, they didn't let Rodney Hampton do anything.
He never got in the game. Never was a factor. Brown back to throw, struggles away. Had someone wrapped around his ankles, intended for Bunch. It was Ted Washington who put the pressure on Brown.
You wonder who Steve Young keeps talking to. I'm sure that, you know, the first time he was talking to Mike Shanahan, he's talking on a regular phone. Yeah, he's dialing one. That's a regular phone. I mean, who in the heck would you call during a game?
Dad? Maybe?
Yeah, mom.
Could be.
Doesn't have a wife.
Brown back to throw it. Rolls right. Slung out of bounds finally after he got nearly a first down.
But there's a guy who really has done a great job this year, Dan Reeves and his staff. I mean, coming in here, taking a team that was down, getting them all the way to the end of the season where they were playing for the best record in the National Football League, lost a tough one to Dallas, came back, beat Minnesota last week, and got to this game. I mean, he has really taken a group, and he and the whole group are really overachieved.
And they really, as a group, believe in him and his philosophy and his coaching staff. That's Dana Stubblefield, who's down over on the far sideline. He's had an outstanding game, and for the last 10 games of the regular season, he was also outstanding.
Yeah, and I think he just wants to stay down to make sure all his parts and everything are right before he gets up. You know, sometimes you get knocked and you don't know what's wrong with you or if anything's wrong with you, so you just want to stay down.
It's a good idea.
The trainer comes in first. Now the doctor comes over, and that happened to Jim McMahon last week. You know, he said he tried to get up and then he went back down. He wasn't sure what was wrong with him, and you just kind of want to wait and try and get it figured out. See, there's Stubblefield there. He was taking Brown down, and then he got hit by his own man, Eric Davis, at the end.
Yeah, he seems okay. Just stunned a little bit, or out of breath, or tired, or something.
The fact that he was chewing his gloves doesn't seem like that's too good.
No.
When you come up chewing your gloves, you're not all right. I mean, you may be all right, but when your only thought can be sticking your gloves in your mouth, you gotta get your bearings a little more. You're a little off your axis.
Well, you could be hungry, maybe thirsty.
Well, I think he's a heck of a player, but I think he's still going to try and figure out what it is. He must have something in there. That could be smelling salts that he has in his hand. You think so?
1st and 10 for the Giants at the 49er 41. Here's Brown back to throw. Going deep. Keith Crawford was the intended receiver, incomplete.
You know, one thing we talk about, the 49ers know what they're going to do next week. They don't know who they're going to do it against. It's either going to be Dallas or Green Bay. Now, Dallas and Green Bay are not even thinking about this game. I mean, they don't even want to watch the 49ers. You know, they're just concentrating on each other, and they'll think about the 49ers on Sunday night, but they're not doing it today.
67,143 in attendance here at Candlestick today. The largest crowd ever here. Brown, pass is caught by Howard Cross. That Green Bay Dallas game tomorrow here on CBS. You'll be able to see it. Begins with the NFL today at noon Eastern time. The Packers, Brett Favre on the left, Emmitt Smith on the right.
You know what I don't understand, Pat, is how we have more people here than ever before. And last week in Giants State, where do they put them? I mean, how come there's more people here?
I guess all the no-shows show.
The clock's on the field.
Yeah, but they don't have any more seats. Right? I mean, if they were sold out, they have sellouts all the time, and then they say it's a bigger sellout. Well, where's the seats?
That's a good point.
I think someone's bluffing. We've got to investigate this.
Well, I have a week to think about it.
There's more here. Where were they when they were sold out last week?
Here's Brown back to throw. He gets it outside on the hop to Aaron Pierce, incomplete.
When the Giants drafted Dave Brown, they used a #1 draft choice for him, and it was a supplemental draft thing, so they had to use their #1 choice the next year, which was this past year, and it was really funny. Kent Graham was a lower round draft choice, and he really came in and beat Dave Brown out. And it would be interesting to know who is going to be, after Phil Simms is not the starter, is it going to be Kent Graham or Dave Brown?
4th and 1. The handoff is to Tillman, who's dragged down short of the first down by Damian Russell. Today's game was produced by Bob Stenner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Coordinating producer of the NFL today is Eric Mann, directed by Larry Cavallina. Senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin, and the executive in charge of production is Rick Gentile. In charge of 49er production today was the man you just saw, George Seifert, and they performed well for him.
Well, you know, even these fans that broke the record here today, along with Ricky Waters' record, they don't know if they're going to be back next week or not.
That's right.
Because if the Cowboys win, the game's in Dallas. If the Cowboys lose, the game is here next week.
Logan, stopped by Canavis McGee. 2:48 left to play, with the 49ers leading 44-3. Buffalo won in icy Buffalo earlier today. A lot of points in that game. That shocked you, I know.
Yeah, again, you saw the cold weather back there, but I guess it wasn't windy because they were sure moving the ball.
They were throwing it well, too. Something you couldn't do last week at Giant Stadium.
Yeah, the only thing that quarterbacks really hate is wind. And I've never seen Steve Young smile like that. I've never, you know,
no.
Steve Young is kind of one of the most serious, intense guys you know. And now he looks like he's not only smiling, he looks like he's making jokes.
A little bit of a dance.
Yeah. Who would think he would dance? I mean, here's a guy who doesn't comb his hair. You got to like that about him. And he wears some ugly shoes
Sandals.
now. He got, well, the sandals. Yeah, I told him he's wearing give-ups.
He says you got me from top to bottom now.
That's right.
You got me for not combing my hair. Now you got my shoes.
That was Lawrence Taylor. And See the tears in his eyes. You know that this is his last game.
There's Mark Logan. 2 minutes left at Candlestick Park with the 49ers leading the Giants 44-3. Lawrence Taylor.
You know, the end is so tough because you've been playing so long. You know, you think 13 years of pro football.
Yep.
4 years of college, 4 years of high school. And then the end.
You can
it's
enjoy.
easy to say you'll play golf or something.
Yeah, how long can you enjoy golf after you've been the kind of football player he is?
The greatest. And you know that the next stop after the Giants stop is in Canton in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I mean, he'll be an automatic.
They wouldn't even have to vote. Wouldn't even have to nominate.
They could just ship him right from here to there.
Bono to Amp Lee. And Lee gets to about the 41-yard line. And the 49ers will punt again. Phil Simms, on the other hand, wants to play more. He's been most emphatic about that. When we talked to him, he wants to play again.
Well, you know, he and Lawrence Taylor over the years have been so close that a lot of people, you know, combine them and say LT and Phil, they're still here. LT, the defensive guy, Phil Simms, the offense. And then when there was talk about retirement, they started talking about both of them retiring. And Phil Simms said, hey, wait a minute, not me. I'm not going to retire. I'm going to be here next year.
Wilmsmeyer back to punt. Hagan says get away from it. And like everything else today, it takes a 49er roll. Down to the 5-yard line. It started off like a poor punt. Wound up being a 55-yarder down to the 5.
I'll tell you, whoever wins that game tomorrow, they better get ready for a shootout because the 49ers are a team that's ready to go. And I think that you know that they came out of this game and they got confidence back. But the other big thing is no one got hurt. So they're going to come out of this game today with a lot of confidence, with a lot of momentum, and healthy.
As you say, whoever wins tomorrow, they might as well just leave the tape on. Just tighten it. The handoff is to Jared Bunch. Less than a minute. 44-3. San Francisco over the Giants.
Yeah, what we see in the Giants sideline, Pat, is again, you know, and I've been there, not in Lawrence Taylor's where you're retiring and thinking this is your last game, but just the last game of the season. I mean, the frustration of the finality of it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not like during the season you can say, well, we'll get him next week. Next week doesn't come until August.
And if you're retiring, it never comes.
And there's nothing as high as winning a playoff game or as low as losing one.
It is final. As you said before, what a heck of a job Dan Reeves did. What an outstanding job Steve Young did today. Just emerged a little bit more out of the shadow of Joe Montana.
Lawrence Taylor may be walking off the field for his last time.
Bart Oates over talking with Steve Young. Phil Simms says, I want to be back. I want to play more.
For his 16th year. Yeah, you also think of the job that George Seifert did, because this was a team that again lost 3 out of their last 4 games, but I'll tell you, he brought them back to a peak today.
What about Tim McDonald after all the years in Phoenix, coming here as a free agent and now getting to feel what it's like to be in the playoffs and go into a championship game next week?
Yeah, I think players all over football would always trade any individual honors for a Super Bowl ring. I mean, that's what, when you get into this football, it's all about going to and winning a Super Bowl. You talk about a guy who was fired up. That Ricky Waters, number 32, was something special today.
5 touchdowns for Ricky Waters. And they're firing up Candlestick. A tribute to the 49ers. Both teams huddled in prayer. 44-3, San Francisco.
Along with Terry Bradshaw and Eric Allen, the Pro Bowl cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles, Greg Gumbel back here in New York after the 49ers destroyed the New York Giants 44-3. And I guess no matter what happens the rest of the weekend, that's the biggest shocker, so you know, of the playoffs.
Yeah, it really is. Both Eric and I thought the Giants were playing as good a football as anybody, especially with their defense. Great defense going up against a team like the 49ers, losing 3 of their last 4 games. Really a lot of doubts going on out there, but today the 49ers put it together and really played the kind of football that everyone imagines that they can play. 6 touchdowns today rushing for the 49ers, and if you think about it, Eric, the Giants had given up only 7 the entire season.
Yeah. One thing looking at the game I saw was a guy who was first playoff game, Tim McDonald, had a well of a game, came up, supported the run, took Hampton around the game. I take my hats off to him.
Yeah, and of course the 49ers will now await the winner of tomorrow's game between the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, earlier this afternoon in Orchard Park, New York, at Rich Stadium, the Buffalo Bills advanced to the AFC Championship game again with a 29-23 win over the Los Angeles Raiders, and they will await the winner of tomorrow's AFC playoff game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Oilers. Coming up tomorrow, Green Bay against Dallas. That comes your way here on CBS Sports, and we will, of course, be here for you with the NFL Today at noon Eastern Time, and then a bit later on it'll be the Michigan Wolverines against the Hoosiers of Indiana. College basketball that follows football tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. For Terry Bradshaw and Eric Allen, for all of us here at CBS Sports, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for enjoying us. We'll see you tomorrow.